I believe a lot of these songs are about Maddie Healy. A good amount of them are about Joe. Her songs are full of lyrical parallels. It's just not an okay thing to do, to push people away because you're feeling blue. The Charlie Puth line, the public can just push her buttons and push the buttons of creatives and artists and writers just to see what they create out of it. Hello everybody, my name is Zoe Rebekah. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be a track list analysis of all of the Tortured Poets department. We're just going to do the standard edition. We're not going to do the anthology edition because if we did all 31 songs, this video would be really long. So if you want me to do a part 2 with the anthology songs, please let me know, but I only prepared the standard edition songs for today's video. So I just really wanted to dive into all of the tracks individually and kind of analyze them, explain some of the context from the research I've gathered and listening to them like a bunch of times. And I really enjoyed like almost every single one of these tracks. Actually, I enjoyed every single one of these tracks, let's be real. So yeah, let's get started. And make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Please rectify that if you haven't already. And make sure you stay tuned for weekly videos. I make vlogs, pop culture videos, college content, all different kinds of stuff. So yeah, stay tuned for weekly videos and subscribe and like this video if you guys enjoy it. So just to start out, her vocals on this album were absolutely stunning. The lyricism and storytelling were incredible, immaculate. The production was incredible. I will not accept Jack Antonoff or Aaron Dessner slander, either one of them. They're both incredible producers to work with Taylor Swift. She's an incredible producer herself, and the three of them make magic together, and I will not tolerate any slander for any of them. Her pen game was on fire writing this album, like for real. The tones and themes across this album seem to be a lot of humorous tones, a lot of sarcasm and wit, a lot of feeling like an outsider or being scrutinized by the public as a huge public figure, as she's been very close to overexposure recently as well. A lot of being in relationships with self-destructive people and her being self-destructive herself and her blaming herself, but there's also a real sense of catharsis on this album. You know, there's some drug references, there's a lot of swearing, but there's a real sense of maturity and catharsis on this album, but there's also a sense of pettiness and real relatable, just fuck it if I can't have it. You know what I mean? It's just like that stuff is relatable. It just resonates with a lot of people, and you know, there is just an overarching theme of catharsis, but also a little bit of revenge, a little bit of self-sabotage, a little bit of being in relationships with people who like to self-sabotage. And you know, this is a very complex album that I had to sit with for a few days. If you guys saw my reactions, I didn't really react too much to a lot of it, and that was because I was processing so much of it. And the lyricism is so poetic, and I really had to like sit with it and process it and like try to digest everything. So yeah, and especially it being 31 songs, and I was up until like 4 in the morning filming and editing and listening to the music. So now that I have listened to it and I've processed it and digested it, I understand all of the tracks a lot more. It was overall a really great album. I also wanted to say that throughout a lot of this album, she seems to be experiencing a lot of grief without knowing exactly who or what she's grieving. So I want to start with Fortnite featuring Post Malone. So this one really confused me at first. When I first listened to it, if you saw my reaction, I was kind of confused by this song, and I later assumed it was about Maddie Healy. I touched you for only a fortnight. Seems like that was the amount of time that she was with Maddie Healy after she broke up with Joe. I don't like to necessarily speculate about who her songs are about, and like I said these in my reaction videos. I like to just enjoy the music, and I like to not necessarily care all that much about who the songs are about, the subjects of the songs, but it helps to have a little bit of context so you can understand the meanings of the songs. Because if you don't understand what the songs mean, they're not that enjoyable, but if you understand what they mean a little bit more, they become more enjoyable in my opinion. So without like overly speculating about specifically who the subjects of these songs are about, I believe a lot of these songs are about Maddie Healy. A good amount of them are about Joe. I believe maybe So High School is about Travis Kelce, but we're not gonna get into that. Most of these songs are about Maddie and Joe. But anyway, as for Fortnite, I thought the song was super catchy, although it's not one of my favorites. It's definitely a grower. It was not one of my favorites when I first listened to the album, but it's definitely become more of a song that I enjoy the more I listen to it. And I wish Post Malone had more of a part on it, but I think he was in it a good amount anyway. But I do expect swifties to be asking for Fortnite featuring more Post Malone like she did with Lana. But yeah, I think their voices blended beautifully. I think this was an interesting start to the album. I think that if I had to choose songs, I would say the Tortured Poets department, so like the title track, is a better, it sets up the album more than Fortnite does, in my opinion. And looking at the lyrics, she says, I took the miracle move-on drug, the effects were temporary. So that ties into the whole psych ward theme, but it also indicates that the miracle move-on drug was Maddie Healy, and that after she got out of this long relationship with Joe, like the miracle move-on drug was getting right into another relationship with Maddie Healy, but the effects were temporary because it only lasted a fortnight. And that transitions us to the next song, which is the Tortured Poets department, the title track. This is one of my favorites. The wit, the sarcasm, the trolling, the sass that comes with this song is absolutely amazing. The subject of the song seems to be at least mostly about Maddie Healy, given the typewriter references. He's known to use typewriters and be an art bro kind of thing. And, you know, the tattooed golden retriever, he's tattooed. This song, the production, the melodies are all beyond catchy. I absolutely love the lyrics. You're not Dylan Thomas, I'm not Patti Smith, this ain't the Chelsea Hotel, we're modern idiots. I absolutely love those lyrics. It just, you know, clicks something in my brain that I love. And it seems like this song is about the narrator being in a relationship with a self-destructive art bro type of person. That is what I'm gathering. The subject of the song seems to be pretty pretentious himself, but the narrator also seems to be somewhat aware of her own pick-me tendencies or attitudes. The Charlie Puth line, it caught me a little off guard when I first listened to it, but I understand it more now. It makes sense in the context of the song, and the line before it, you know, you smoked then ate 7 bars of chocolate. We declared Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist. It seems like it's kind of throwing shade at him and saying, you know, we were high when we said that, but I'm just gonna leave that there. I don't want to throw shade at Charlie Puth. It's not that I like him or dislike him. The melody is amazing and the song keeps getting stuck in my head, to be honest. Like I said, this song seems to set the tone for the album much more than Fortnite does, in my opinion. I feel like she's using the aesthetic of this album seems to be almost ironic because she's making fun of the whole Tortured Poets aesthetic, and like, you're not Dylan Thomas, I'm not Patti Smith, we're not like these tortured poets. She's making fun of that pretentious art bro persona that the subject of the song seems to maintain. And I think the line, who else decodes you, is really fitting for Taylor. She's known for unraveling clues and putting out Easter eggs for everything, and just like there's a recurring theme, like lyrical theme throughout this album that's like decoding you, and like I can fix him, no really I can, which we'll get to. It's like there's a lot of that in that song, and it's like she likes to have a mission to seek something out and like search for something even if it's not there, and this man seems to have many layers, so who else decodes you is fitting for that as well. And in the bridge she shifts the tone a lot from like that sassy witty tone, that trolling kind of tone, to a more serious tone, and she's like, you told Lucy you'd kill yourself if I left. At dinner you take my ring off my middle finger and you put it on the one people put wedding rings on, and that's the closest I've come to my heart exploding. That's actually extremely fucking heartbreaking and sad. Like, she was in this 6+ long year relationship with this man, and that, referring to a situationship in this, that's what made her heart closest to exploding. Like, that is truly heart-shattering in my opinion. But yeah, that is the Tortured Poets department. I really enjoyed that song. I had to like process it a little bit more after my first listen, but I really enjoy it now. Who's gonna Okay, anyway. Third track, My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys. The song very much feels like she's calling the subject of the song an immature boy. She's infantilizing the subject a lot rather than a man. And there's a lot of references throughout this album to her childhood, or feeling like a kid, or just metaphors for childhood, I feel like. And this boy comes across as very self-destructive. You know, my boy only breaks his favorite toys. You know, Taylor being his favorite toy. And it almost seems like he's so fearful of commitment that he just fucked up the relationship beyond repair. This song is fully a bop though. I absolutely love the production, the melody. Instantly I knew it was a hit. And she says she's the queen of the castles he destroys, and as someone with borderline personality disorder, I can kind of understand completely pushing people away out of this intense irrational fear of abandonment or rejection, and like feeling like that's gonna happen inevitably, but that doesn't mean it's okay. It's like a reason, not an excuse. It's just not an okay thing to do, to push people away because you're feeling blue. She also says, out of the Kens, which parallels hits different, he pulled her out of the box and stole her tortured heart. All the lyrical parallels on this album are absolutely insane, and it's just wonderful. It's so amazing. What Taylor said about this song, I'm gonna read the quote she said about this song, explaining it. She said, "My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys is a song I wrote alone, and it's a metaphor of being somebody's favorite toy until they break you and they don't want to play with you anymore," which is how a lot of us are in relationships, where we are so valued by a person in the beginning, and then all of a sudden they break us or they devalue us in their mind, and we're still clinging on to, no, you should have seen them the first time they saw me. They'll come back to that. They'll get back to that. So it's kind of like a song about denial, really, so that you can live in this world where there's still hope for a toxic, broken relationship. Yeah, so that's how Taylor explained it herself. I'm not gonna explain it any better than that. Fourth track is called Down Bad. So this song is absolutely amazing. I love this song. I think this is a fan favorite so far. And I'm gonna start with what Taylor said about this song. She said, so a lot of songs on ttpd deal with the idea of heartbreak or loss in a metaphor or of something else. The metaphor in Down Bad is that I was comparing sort of the idea of being, you know, like love bombed, where someone rocks your world and dazzles you and then kind of abandons you as an alien abduction, where you were abducted by aliens but you wanted, like, this girl is abducted by aliens but she wanted to stay with them, and then they drop her off back in her hometown. She's like, wait, no, where are you going? I liked it there. It was weird but it was cool. Come back. And so the girl in this song just felt like, I've been exposed to a whole different galaxy and universe. I didn't know it's possible. How can you put me back where I was before? So that's what she said. The bridge adds a layer of build-up that is viscerally emotional, in my opinion. All in all, this song is bound to be a hit, with production that really adds to the feeling. She also said she's down bad crying at the gym, which is most likely referring to her intense workout routines that she has mentioned that she does for the Eras tour. She was down bad, crying at the gym, preparing for the Eras tour. And this song seems to be directly calling out swifties for dismissing the significance of her past relationship or relationships. Specifically when she says, I love your hostile takeovers, encounters closer and closer, all your indecent exposures. And in the line, everything comes out teenage petulance. Fuck it if I can't have him. That kind of reminds me of, like, I'm 17, nobody understands. Like, or just like feeling like you're a teenager again and nobody understands. That's the vibe that I've got from it. Track 5 is So Long London. This is a scathing track 5 about saying goodbye to her London boy. It's a goodbye letter to her London boy, Joe fucking Alwyn. Her convoluted feelings are very clear in this song, as she knows that they had good times and truly loved each other, but he couldn't give her a committed future, and that was really important to her. And that expression in this track is evident and heartbreaking, yet it also comes across as very cathartic and almost accepting. Part of the intro sounds a little bit like Call It What You Want to me, and How Much Sad Do You Think I Had in Me calls back to You're Losing Me, I think, where she says, how long could we be a sad song? He was often portrayed as sad, down, blue. And she also says, I'm just getting color back into my face, which also I think refers to You're Losing Me when she says, my face was great but you wouldn't admit that we were sick. Her songs are full of lyrical parallels, like I've been mentioning, and I think it's absolutely amazing how she's able to do that, which I tremendously appreciate her ability to do that. And she clearly insinuates the desire for commitment, and he couldn't give that to her. The bridge is harsh, saying her knuckles went white, holding on to his resentment, and that her friends told her that she shouldn't be afraid of a love affair. She seems to have felt trapped in this relationship, and toward the end especially, they weren't mentally present in their relationship, and that is what I gathered from So Long London. Alright, track number 6, But Daddy I Love Him. This track is an absolute bop. I love this song. It's full of sarcasm, and it's full of, like, it seems a little pointed at the swifties for their reactions to her personal choices, and a recurring message in many of her songs is her father's disapproval for the men she is with. And it seems like a modern love story kind of song, how it shifts into a kind of happy ending. It also includes a lot of metaphors for breaking free of past confinement, I think, and it contains a lot of Taylor. I feel like the song definitely contains a lot of lore, but it's still a bop. I think it's a bop regardless, in my opinion. And I think I Don't Cater to Vipers Dressed in Empath's Clothing is one of the best lyrics she's ever written. Like, that's crazy. Sanctimoniously performing soliloquies that I'll never see. I think that's the lyric. Yeah, sanctimoniously performing soliloquies I'll never see. God save the most judgmental creeps who say they want what's best for me is the line before that. Like, that is crazy lyricism. And the most judgmental creeps who say they want what's best for me, sanctimoniously performing soliloquies I'll never see. It's basically representing all the people judging her behind screens, I'm assuming. They're just going off on tangents about her and her personal life, and she'll never even see them. They don't even matter. And I think a recurring theme throughout this record is that she's like, this album is not really catering to the general public, and I feel like it's been very misunderstood by the general public, and I understand that a little bit because it has a lot of lore in it, but I feel like she mainly created it for her true fans, and I absolutely love it. I'm definitely a true fan of hers, and I love this album, and I can understand how it can be difficult to comprehend some of the lyrics if you don't know some of the lore. But also a lot of this album, she's painting herself in kind of an unflattering, honest light, and that can, you know, come across different ways to different people. And this is another song in her discography that kind of romanticizes an iffy situation, which she does have a couple songs like that. And this is definitely one of them. All right, track number 7, Fresh Out the Slammer. Sonically, this vibe has very Western vibes. It's very like, it gave me Lana vibes. If you saw my reaction, it gave me like Western vibes, but also kind of Lana Del Rey vibes at the beginning, especially with like a dark pop country kind of element to it. It kind of gives me getaway car vibes thematically, and the slammer seems to be her relationship with Joe. And it seems like during her hard times with Joe, she imagined herself in a different relationship with a different person. This song, like I said, gives Western kind of saloon sexual vibes. It kind of seems like a big metaphor for escaping a relationship that seemed like she was trapped in. Just throughout the song, there seems to be several depictions of what seems like Joe trapping her in the relationship. That's all I really have to say about that one. I like the song. It's just like, it's very, there's not a lot to analyze with it. It's very clear what it's about, I feel like, even just by the title. All right, track number 8, Florida. I love this song. I feel like this song, I've noticed from people's different reactions that they either love this song or don't like the song at all. I personally love this song. Like I said, it's not just because I live in Florida, but I genuinely really enjoy this song, and I really enjoy the production of it. It gives me No Body, No Crime vibes. It seems like this song is like mixing fictional elements with her real life, but it's definitely about escaping to Florida. Like, she seems to be seeking refuge from her relationship's fallout with lyrics like, I need to forget, so take me to Florida. I've got some regrets, I'll bury them in Florida. And I didn't realize this until after, but the line, so you work your life away just to pay for a timeshare down in Destin. Destin, Florida is known for its tourism and retirement, and a timeshare is basically a residence you have partial ownership of that you pay a shitload of money for. So she's saying you work your life away just to afford a partially owned place down south that you're partially seeing the people that go there. When she was speaking to iHeartRadio, she explained that Florida is a stereotypical location in which criminals flee to start afresh. She parallels this with the feeling that she has whenever she goes through a breakup, stating that she feels like she wants to start afresh, be unknown, and escape. Florida therefore felt extra symbolic as a place which to center in this song. So there you go, that's how she explained it. All right, track number 9 is Guilty as Sin, ? This is a sensual hit rumored to be about Matty Healy, given the general public's negative perception of him and the relationship between them. This song is a bop though. I don't care who the subject matter is. This song is a bop, period. Anyway, she acknowledges that what she's thinking about is morally wrong, and she's like fantasizing about being with this other person while she's still in a relationship. That's what it seems like. And it seems like she's mentally cheating. Then after the relationship is over, she acts on these feelings and she feels guilty about it, and she's questioning if she's guilty as sin for doing that. And it also seems like she's imagining these sexual fantasies while she's I'm just gonna say it, masturbating. That's what it seems like to me and a lot of other people. So we're gonna move on to track number 10, Who's Afraid of Little Old Me. This song is a hauntingly beautiful track about Taylor's fame and life under a microscope. It seems like there's some Scooter Scott elements to it. That's what I got on the first listen, but I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it's definitely mostly about just her fame and being scrutinized as a public figure. And there's a level of satirical elements in this song, but some of it seems to be completely serious. This is a self-written song, and in this song she compares her growing up famous as the asylum where they raised me, making several references throughout to being perceived as mentally unstable or crazy. Her powerful, mysterious vocals on this track are absolutely stunning. I leap from the gallows and levitate down your street alludes to this witch-like imagery representing the public perception of her. I was tame, I was gentle till the circus life made me mean. Don't worry folks, we took out all our teeth. Essentially means that she's been knocked down by the public after being a pretty tame, precocious child. This song is phenomenally written, produced, and performed, and maybe a career highlight for her, in my opinion. What Taylor said about the song is, she revealed that she wrote the tune alone sitting at the piano in one of those moments when I felt bitter about just all the things that we do to our artists as society and as a culture. There's a lot about this particular concept on the Tortured Poets department, she added. What we do to our writers and our artists and our creatives, we put them through hell. We watch them create, then we judge it. We love to watch artists in pain pain, often to the point where I think sometimes as a society, we provoke that pain just to see what happens. There you go. She's talking about like how the public can just, you know, push her buttons and push the buttons of creatives and artists and writers just to see what they create out of it. All right, so track number 11 is I Can Fix Him, No Really I Can't. And this song is also rumored to be about Maddie Healy, and it's about Taylor's false perception that she can fix the man she's with, but by the end she realizes that maybe she can't. And that's all there really is to it for this song. She says a perfect case for my certain skill set, and that makes sense because she's known for being a mastermind and she's known for being very schemy.
No one wanted to play with me as a little kid, so I've been scheming like a criminal ever since.
I don't know, she just like, she wants an assignment and she wants to complete the assignment well, but she realized she couldn't really do anything about the situation. And she thought she could rehabilitate and refurbish this man, who is a PR nightmare and a seemingly terrible person. He might be a great musician, but most people agree that he seems like a pretty bad person. And clearly the subject of this song, I Can Fix Him, is a person that needs fixing, and that's not a healthy mentality to go into any relationship with, is the idea that you're going to fix them or like change them. And I think she kind of realizes that at the end. Track number 12, LOML. This track stands for Loss of My Life. It doesn't stand for Love of My Life. In the first chorus she sings, you said I'm the love of your life, so that's not LOML. But she ends the song with you're the loss of my life. This song is so depressing that I almost don't like listening to it. I mean, it's a phenomenal song. It's like a career highlight. It's so beautiful, but it is so fucking sad. And she combs through braids of lies as she grieves the loss of a former lover whom she seemingly imagined marrying, but he couldn't commit. He essentially wasted her time by not loving her enough, and I think that is so fucking fucked up. And she portrays this sense of settlement in the relationship when she sings, you said I'm the love of your life about 1,000,000 times, and that seems to insinuate that the more he said it, the less it meant. There are many marriage references throughout the album and in this song. She says you shit talked me under the table, talking rings and talking cradles, which kind of expresses how he misrepresented himself. He presented himself differently initially than how he really turned out to be, and he was kind of just threatening her with plans of marriage and babies, and he really couldn't commit. And her singing it was unnecessary, should have let it stay buried, conveys like shame in herself for allowing herself to go through this. And this song is beautifully heartbreaking with a simple melody and production and intensely wonderful lyricism. All right, track number 13 is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. It's an upbeat bop with witty yet totally heartbreaking lyrics, and it's essentially about living on with your life even with a broken heart, and she just has to live on performing on her tour and making music and doing her job even though her heart was broken. And anyone who's ever had their heart broken knows how hard it is to just do daily tasks and live on with your life and be a normal person when your heart is completely shattered. And she had to perform in front of thousands and thousands of people every night, and she had to do it while she was heartbroken. And that concept is really fucking sad, but the production is very upbeat. And she says, I'm so depressed I act like it's my birthday every day. And then she says, I cry a lot but I am so productive. It's an art. And she sings that in the chorus, and I love it. But it's hilarious, but it's also so sad. And this song is kind of thematically similar to Bejeweled, I think. And the 14th track, The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. This scathing track is harsh and jaw-droppingly angry, and the Jehovah's Witness suit seems to allude to Maddie Healy. I can't tell if this is both pointed at Joe and Maddie, but it seems to be mostly Maddie. And this song, After I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, represents her kind of, I feel like, finishing her performance on the tour and sitting with her thoughts. And I feel like all album track lists are specifically intentional, and this is a prime example of why. And in the song, she seems to have been ghosted by Maddie Healy, and she's alluding to being used by him for material, it seems like. She said, you said normal girls were boring, and that kind of expresses that. And yeah, so this song is just a scathing one, kind of reminiscent of Dear John, I think. That's pretty much all I have to say about that one. I love this song as well. I love every single song. All right, track number 15 is The Alchemy. This beautiful song is essentially about a meet cute, I think. Alchemy refers to the quest in medieval times to find a philosopher's stone, which would make it possible to turn any substance into gold. In the context of relationships, alchemy suggests the meeting of two people to form something completely new, though something inexplicable, so like love. The bottom line is that she came out of the dark where she'd been in for a really long time. Basically, the whole song is just about like, just alchemy is just like when things turn into gold, and it's just basically about like, who are we to fight the alchemy? That is the thesis statement of the song. Alright, track number 16 is Clara Bow. I didn't understand the song at first, but I felt like now I feel like it's like a nothing new situation where she starts the song with "You look like Clara Bow," and in the second chorus she says "You look like Stevie Nicks," and then the third chorus says "You look like Taylor Swift," and which made my jaw drop when she said "You look like Taylor Swift in this light, we're loving it, you've got edge, she never did." Like, that was gagging. But yeah, she's referring to different generations of similar fonts, I think, and she's both worried about being replaced but also accepting that one day she'll pass the torch to another female artist. Clara Bow was the first it girl, Stevie Nicks was the shit of the 70s, and Taylor Swift is the shit now. And this song is gorgeous, and the guitar is amazing. I love the guitar, and it's a beautiful take on female artists being compared, I think, and it comes across as melodically a simple song, but it has such complex lyricism, and I didn't understand it at first, and the more I sat with it, the more I understood it. But yeah, that's all I have for the standard tracks of the Tortured Poets department, my analyses, my thoughts. If you guys want to know if you guys want to know my favorite songs, I'm gonna say I put them like in a tier ranking. I'll put a picture of my tier ranking thing, but So High School is one of my favorites, Thank You Amy is one of my favorites, Guilty as Sin is one of my favorites, I'm Gonna Get You Back, I really like the Tortured Poets department, the title track, I really like My Boy Only Breaks His Favorite Toys, I really like Florida, I love Florida, I love But Daddy, I love him, The Albatross, love it, The Bolter, love it, The Prophecy is growing on me, and Down Bad is growing on me, Fortnite is growing on me. This album is a little bit of a grower, but I love it. Yeah, so I am going to end this video here. If you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Share this video at my channel so you think might be interested, and leave me comments down below. Comment down below what your favorite tracks from the album were and what other videos you guys want to see. Make sure you guys get copies of my books, my memoir Battles on the Borderline, and my poetry book and erotic anthology, My Psychology, linked below. And make sure you guys follow me on all my other social medias. My Snapchat is Zoe Frenchman, my Instagram is Zoe R Frenchman, my Twitter is Zoe Rebekah F, and my TikTok is Zoe RF420. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!